tonight's NBA draft coverage here on YouTube and Facebook. So if you want to come in and talk draft, you can do that. We're going to set those links up for you via YouTube and Facebook. So if you're in here, we'll set you up. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those in right now, and we'll go recap the first couple of picks.
Especially over the next couple of years, take that path through the G League to the NBA. While we've been chatting, the San Antonio Spurs, they have been on the clock. DeJounte Murray, he's had an incredible year. I mean, 21.1 points, 8.3 rebounds, 9.2 assists. By the way, all of those Kendrick Perkins are career highs. He led the NBA. I didn't know this. He led the NBA with 138 steals. First career All-Star.
Okay, the links are posted in Facebook and YouTube. You want to come in, talk draft coverage tonight, you're welcome to come in. Okay, let's go ahead and recap the draft. Pick number 1 went to Orlando, and that was Pablo Rio. I'm saying his name right. Also, Chet Holmgren, second pick overall. Jabari Smith, third overall. Keegan Murray, fourth pick. Jaden Ivory, fifth pick overall. Benedict McNair was picked sixth by the Indiana Pacers. And Shandon Sharp picked by the Trailblazers. Now the New Orleans Pelicans selected Dyson Daniels, G League. So it looks like pretty good draft picks going through the draft. The San Antonio Spurs are on the clock, so we'll hear the pick. Once the pick comes in, we'll give you the update on it. So the Gamecast, DraftCast is right on the screen. So if you're in here, you want to talk NBA draft, we will let you come in. Let's see who's in here. We'll send them in.
Some of these guys, they may be drafted even higher than what we're seeing now, correct?
Looks like nobody yet.
But you're looking at a bunch of different guys that have different skill sets. So if you're looking
So we're just waiting on the San Antonio Spurs pick. So it should be coming in just a few seconds.
There's so many, but we get to find out who it is. The pick is in. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is here to tell us who it is.
With the 9th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Jeremy Sohan.
Jeremy Sohan goes to San Antonio via Baylor University. So that is your 9th pick overall, Jeremy Sohan. So the young man is selected. Now the Washington Wizards are on the clock. Got about 4 minutes and something left. So we're waiting on their pick as well. So Jeremy Sohan. Now the pick with the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm going to say that about Jeremy Dyson. We're going to need a good shooting guard. And I'm pretty sure a good thing for this team. So once again, this is from we are live tonight. So we're waiting on the next pick is the Washington Wizards. So
that's pretty good. My mom's advice was learn Italian. Jeremy Sohan is another one of these big.
I'm gonna turn this off for a second because they got music playing. So I'm gonna mute it. So like I said, if you want to come in, talk NBA draft, you have a chance to do that now. While we wait. I knew, like I said, I knew that the first picks was going to be mixed around. Jabari Smith, I don't think he would have got picked in the first round. First pick. He got picked on a third pick. Banner Rome, I'll tell you, that was one of the best picks for the Orlando Magic. So I say this: look, you're going to have to utilize these guys in a fashion. So once again, we are live NBA draft coverage here on Facebook, YouTube. So give us your take if you want to come in, talk about the draft. You can do that. What is your team's needs? What is there going to be a trade? What you want for your team? Be a trade. So we having that tonight. So let's see. We will go over some Major League Baseball scores. I'm going to go ahead and give you those scores in a second. So let me give you the scores. Okay, MLB scores at 8:02 Central Time. Astros on top 6-3, bottom of the sixth. Also, Orioles no score. Mariners won 2-1. And the Padres and Phillies will play around 20 minutes to 9. So that's going to be 20 minutes at 9 o'clock. Towards 9 o'clock hour. Okay, let's see what else we have. Okay, College World Series. Ole Miss wins 2-0 in their game. So that is in the College World Series. So we're waiting for the draft to return. So if you want to come in, please come on down. So we're just waiting on the draft coverage to return. So the pick is in for the Washington Wizards. We're waiting on that pick to be revealed. We're just waiting for the draft to return. Pick is in.
All right, the answer is yes. All right, so the pick is in.
We'll see what the pick is.
With the 10th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Johnny Davis.
So Johnny Davis is selected by the Washington Wizards 10th overall.
Johnny Davis is headed to the Washington Wizards to team up with Bradley Beal and company. So
So the 11th pick is coming up, and that is going to be the New York Knicks. They're on the clock, so just about 4 minutes remaining.
Johnny was the Big Ten Player of the Year, and when I asked him to describe his game, he told me he's a versatile guard that can score at all 3 levels. He just loves to compete and wants to help his teammates win. That's exactly what you want to hear if you are an NBA team. Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler, that's who he patterns his game after day. Do you see any resemblances with those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's accurate in his self-assessment there because he can score at all 3 levels, but he's especially effective in the mid-range. I think he's a complete player, but he's best when the lights really are brightest against top 25 opponents in the league.
So we're going to mute it for a few minutes. We have some music playing. We don't want to get copyrighted, so we're just going to go ahead and mute it. We'll wait for the next pick, which is the New York Knicks. We're just waiting on that pick. Just 3.5 minutes remaining.
Of who the New York Knicks are going to pick, and somewhere Spike Lee is sweating.
They're going to boo whoever it is anyway.
Please don't fumble the bag. You're going to need security to get
All right, let's just take a look at how exactly we got here. 1 playoff series win in the last 22 seasons, and let me tell you, I was living in New York City at the time. The Garden was on fire when that happened. RJ Barrett, 20 points per game. That's a career high for him, so that's a great spot for New York. Julius Randle, though, the former most improved player, 20 points per game, 24 points per game in the 2020-2021 season. So a little bit less productive there. Look, even the young fans, look, they're so young. They still have hope. They're excited. They are looking forward to the future. Bing bong. Do you get that reference, Jay? You get the bing bong reference.
I do.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm
And
proud of you.
I caught your modern thing before. Let's get more modern. Talking about David Robinson, we got to get modern.
I'm just saying for us out there, I'm just making sure that the youngsters are like, well, what about Anthony Davis? Well, what happened before him? What happened before he existed? Big perk. The Knicks are on the clock. The Knicks fans are hanging on every word that we are about to hear.
Okay, pick is in for the Knicks. So waiting on that pick.
You need to add perimeter play. You already have RJ Barrett, who I feel like is an up-and-coming star. But you need to add somebody that can knock down shots and a combo guy, a guard, in my opinion. You know, Kimball Walker didn't turn out to what they wanted him to be last season. I think you got to add some pieces there. Evan Fournier didn't have the best season for the Knicks. If you want to continue to build in the right direction, you got to add shooting.
Yeah, if you're adding shooting, we've mentioned A.J. Griffin, who shot 46% from 3. I would take a look at Malachi Branham from Ohio State if you want that kind of thing as well, because I think he's got a ton of upside. And another outstanding shooter is Ochai Agbaji from Kansas, national champion. I don't know if they would take him this high. But if they're looking for shooting, those are 3 good shooters.
Well, Perk, you went away from your big. Oh my gosh! Clearly the Knicks are on the clock because it just got a little bit louder in here.
You know what? I got tired of jinxing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I jinxed my bigs. That's enough. I think I'm going to
Well, again, it's getting louder and louder in here because the Knicks are getting closer and closer to picking who is going to be in the Garden next season. You mentioned Kemba Walker. Obviously, the Knicks and Kemba Walker's camp decided that perhaps they weren't the best fit. Kemba Walker was just a consummate professional throughout the season, a locker room leader. But RJ Barrett seems to be the future of this team, Big Perk.
He is, and he keeps getting better. The things that we say he can't do, he comes out the next season and he proves us wrong this season.
Hang on to your butts. The pick is in. Who are the New York Knicks going to take? Let's find out from NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
With the 11th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the New York Knicks select Ousmane Dieng.
Ousmane James selected for the New York Knicks from France. So that is He is the 11th pick overall.
Let me tell you a little bit about Usman Jang. He enters the league after playing at Inset Academy in Paris. He's made a strong impression on pro evaluators with his move to the NBL's Next Stars program. He had to compete against much older, more experienced pros to show a level of perseverance with his New Zealand Breakers because they were forced to play an entire season, Jay Billis, on the road in Australia because of COVID. And interestingly, you know, we always talk about who these guys compare to in the NBA, what experience they have under their belt. He's trained with his idol, Clippers wing, Paul George. But I'm hearing that we may have some news here, so let's bring in our senior NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski.
Let's see what we have.
Yeah, Malika, the 11th pick is headed to Oklahoma City. The
What?
Knicks have traded Ousmane Dieng, the French forward who played for the New Zealand Breakers last season, to the Thunder. I'm told that the Knicks will get back multiple first-round picks moving forward, and Oklahoma City is back on the clock at number 12.
So the 12th pick will be the Oklahoma City Thunder. Usman Dieng will go over to the Oklahoma City Thunder as Adrian Wojnarowski reported.
This is an upside pick for the Thunder here. When you look at his last 10 games of the season in New Zealand, 36% from three, 51% from the field. And here's another player that I got to sit down with and meet. And what he told me was he struggled the first couple months of the season because of COVID restrictions in New Zealand. He was basically locked in his room. And once he got a comfort level as far as to be out there, play basketball, which he loves, he really flourished. This is an upside pick, and now you've got two big guys with ultimate length here.
Coach, thank you. Usman Dieng is headed to Oklahoma City, which means he is going to be teaming up with the guy who just sat down to sit down next to all of us. That is Chet Holmgren, who is also headed to Oklahoma City. Congratulations,
Thank
Chet.
you very much.
How are you feeling in this moment now?
Can't even describe it. I got 0 words for the 1,000 emotions that I'm having right now, but they're all very good.
Well, when you look towards Oklahoma City, just first reaction, what are you first and most looking forward to?
One, get into Oklahoma City, having my press conference, for all the fans and the fan base, that I'm going to be representing, and then secondly, get into work as soon as I can.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but our friend Big Perk, he played for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and also he is known for his famous head talk. So Big Perk, what do you got for the big fella?
You know what? I'm just going to tell you to be ready. I know that you are. And when I say be ready, when I think about the Oklahoma City Thunder, it's a first-class organization from top to bottom. Player performance, when you talk about guys like Donnie Strank, who's in the athletic department, Sam Presti has put together not only a hell of a facility, but a hell of a staff. And you're going to love it. Just pay attention. Just listen to what they say. They're going to guide you in the right direction. Let me tell you this.
What do you make of that
I played
advice?
at 290 my entire career. When I got to Oklahoma, I was 255. So if I could, get in there and put in the work, I know they're going to get you right.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever reach 290.
I don't want you to. I promise you I don't. Don't do it.
Chet, did you know what was going to happen when you're sitting there when the commissioner came out and he called out Paolo first? Did you have any idea what was going to happen? No. What was the feeling like when you heard that and then heard your name second? Obviously, Paulo, a hell of a player. I'm proud of him and I'm happy for him. But when I heard my name, it was nothing but excitement, and I'm ready to get to work.
I'm gonna ask you this. Where did you get the confidence and the swag from? I love it, but like when did you, when they finally hit that you use that guy?
Okay, Oklahoma City still on the clock. Pick is in. We're waiting for that pick to be announced.
You think you might get your dad a new camcorder because he's not gonna have to film your games anymore. They're all gonna be on TV. Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna need to anymore, but at this point it's like a ritual. You can't break it. So yeah, if he needs a new camcorder, I definitely think I'll be able to get that for him.
Is there a teammate that you are most looking forward to meeting in Oklahoma City?
I'm looking forward to meeting all of them, getting to work with all of them. Those are my new brothers. But I've been speaking to Josh a little bit throughout this process, so definitely looking forward to finally meeting him.
What advice has he given you?
Hasn't been so much advice yet as much as it has been just talking about the Thunder, what they are, and what he sees in me, and how we can play together.
Well, we're not exactly your dad in terms of recording you throughout this process, but we do have a little bit of behind the scenes. So just take a look over here. What do we think? What are we recording here? Is this? Oh, it's the hat.
Yep. I gotta get the hat on there. I get the whole fit together.
Yeah. What is it with these dice?
So it's 3 and 4 on the dice. That's my number.
Okay.
3 and 4 has the 7.
One.
7 was my number with USA when we won gold last summer. I'm big on betting on myself, so I have to put the dice on the chain.
You roll the dice, you bet on yourself. What number are you going with in Oklahoma City?
I don't know yet. Does anybody wear 34?
Well, if you do, there's some interesting bets that happen in the NBA for players over who gets the number. If someone does, and I don't know off the top of my head, what are you willing to put on the line to get number 34? Okay, but don't worry because we're going to be coming back and asking you. Chet Holmgren, congratulations. Thank you so much. Headed to Oklahoma City. Thank you for spending the time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And very smart not negotiating against yourself on that.
Exactly. Don't negotiate against yourself. Don't overbid before you have to. We appreciate that. All right. Well, guess what? Another pick is in. Chet Holmgren gets to find out who may be his next teammate. Let's head to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
Let's see who's the next pick is in.
With the 12th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams from Santa Clara picked 12th overall.
An emotional moment for Jalen
So
Williams
that's for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Out of Santa Clara. He has wanted to be a professional ball player since he was 6 years old, and that is all culminating in this moment as he is headed to the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's the first prospect drafted from Santa Clara since Steve Nash was taken 15th overall in the 1996 draft. You can see Steve Nash there. 12 games he played with 20-plus points last season, tied for the second most in the WCC. Hey, that's my alma mater. What did we see in those games, Jay Billis?
Well, he's a guy that made a huge jump throughout the course of his career. He's very productive. Some people call him a late bloomer, but he's continued to bloom throughout his basketball life. He's 6'6", but he's got a 7'2" wingspan, incredible length. He's very skilled, really good in catch-and-shoot situations. Shot 40% from 3. He's got an excellent middle game, and he's really good at ball screens. Very good pick-and-roll efficiency, good setting it up. He can go under, he can twist it, he can snake it, and an excellent cutter without the ball. But it's just a really confident player that plays at both ends of the floor.
Well, Oklahoma City, they just had so many picks. I want to show
Okay, the Charlotte Hornets on the clock at number 13.
In this draft. Not to mention, for 2027, they have 18 first-round picks. That's the most in the NBA. And our Adrian Wojnarowski has referred to this as sort of the great experiment for Sam Presti. Woj, why is that?
Malika, just the investment that Oklahoma City has made now in the NBA draft of gathering up assets and now turning them into young players. They're just 2 years into this rebuild. And you look now at the talent they gathered. Josh Giddey, their first-round pick last year, who had an outstanding rookie season. And then getting Chet Holmgren at number 2 in this draft, in addition to his Usman Day and Jalen Williams of Santa Clara. I think Sam Presti, Oklahoma City's GM, he scouted Chet Holmgren perhaps as much as any player that he has spent time with out on the road. That was absolutely their the number one player on their board, and I think that was proven when Jabari Smith was available to them at number 2, and they still stayed with Chet Holmgren. But you see now that the athleticism, the talent, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, their young point guard in Oklahoma City, you can start now to see the shape of of a team that's going to be deep and talented and still with multiple first-round picks now through the next few years in salary cap space when they decide they want to get back involved in free agency.
Woj, thank you so much. Many first-round picks for the Oklahoma City Thunder. We'll see them on the board again at 30. That was a pick that comes from Phoenix. But now the Charlotte Hornets, they are on the clock. They're looking for someone to team up with just a talented young core. LaMelo Ball, obviously one of the flashiest players. Jay, who are you looking at here?
I think Mark Williams of Duke could be an interesting pick for
We know
them.
Kirk's not going to jinx. He's not going to jinx them.
Am I going with the big guy thing with Burke? But for a guy that can set ball screens and roll and a lob threat, with LaMelo Ball being able to throw it up to him, and he's an elite rim protector.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk of Charlotte 13 and 15, maybe looking at Williams at one of those two spots.
I want to just put a little bit of context for the Charlotte Hornets here. LaMelo Ball, he was the 4th youngest All-Star ever, 20 years old, along with Magic, LeBron, and Kobe. So let's look a little bit of a timeline here for where exactly the Charlotte Hornets are. What I just mentioned, the 4th youngest All-Star starter ever, and he absolutely earned it, but they lost early in the East play-in for the 2nd straight season, so not exactly where they wanted to be. They hired Kenny.
We got it muted for a few minutes. We have some music playing. So once the music is ended, we'll go back to it. So once again, we're live tonight, NBA draft coverage. First 13 picks are first 12 picks are in. So we're waiting for the 13th pick by the Charlotte Hornets. It should be coming up in a few minutes. So we're just waiting around. So once again, if you want to come in and talk NBA draft, the links are posted in YouTube and Facebook. You can, we will let you in. Or if you want to do it via regular chat, that will be fine.
LaMelo Ball. This guy's the ultimate playmaker. He's so unselfish. He makes people around him better. And like Jay said, all they need is that lob threat and rim protector. They need that guy to match up with the point guard LaMelo to be able to roll, and now he can hit the shooters and those wing guys that are spot up in the corner.
And they made really good incremental progress. They were 10 games above the prior year, 2 years in a row, which is hard to do. I mean, I was surprised they let go of James Borrego. I would not have done that. But
A lot of people where I was.
You serve at the pleasure of your employer, but I was surprised by that. They do need a coach and quickly get the right next person. But I agree. I think Williams is an interesting choice.
Well, and it's so important, right, to have the right head coach, especially for young players, a young franchise. We saw that with Willie Green with the Pelicans. He made an immediate impact in changing that culture. Accountability was a big word that he used over and over. Obviously, coming from the Monty Williams coaching tree, that's incredibly important. So let's see if they get that. They have to get that right first. They also have to get the pick right. The pick is in, so let's head to NBA.
Let's see what the pick is.
Over to see who is headed to Charlotte.
With the 13th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Jalen Duren from the University.
Okay, Jalen Duren, selected by Charlotte. He's from Memphis.
Headed to the Hornets. And Jay, he may be the most physically.
Okay, the 14th pick will be coming up. And then we'll have the 15th pick.
Talk about being a man-child. I mean, he is physically imposing. A guy who's 6'11" with a 7'5" wingspan. Solid rebounder, a very good rim protector. You know, we talked about Mark Williams being a lob threat. So is Jalen Duren. He led the AAC in rebounds. He had 3 offensive rebounds per game. He can go get the ball and get you extra possessions. He catches everything with those great hands, and he dunks everything. And I think he's a pretty good passer, especially out of the high post. He's been limited as a shooter, and he's a poor free throw shooter, but very, very talented.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of look at him like a Bam Adebayo.
Adebayo.
Yes, absolutely. I look at him.
He's can't pronounce it just like I can't pronounce it.
And we talked about that a vibe creating the basket, going dribble handoff actions, rolling to the basket, opening it up for other people, and he's a pretty good passer.
Well, one thing that we talked about earlier is how much experience in playing against men can matter, and one of the reasons that he chose Memphis, right?
Okay, Cleveland's on the clock at number 14.
Like Penny Hardaway, Larry Brown, Cody Topper, Rasheed Wallace, but guess what? He's headed to the Pistons, so that's just in. He will be headed to the Pistons, according to our Adrian Wojnarowski. So he is on the move as the Cavaliers get on the clock. And the Cavaliers, they have had such an exciting year. They may be the team that I am most excited to watch next season in the NBA because they are going to be a force. And yes, Park, they are full of talented big men. They are full of talented big men. Look at this turnaround for them. Just absolutely incredible. So Darius Garland, Jared Allen, who used to play in this building, the Pro. They were named All-Stars. Evan Mobley, runner-up for Rookie of the Year. You liked him for Rookie of the Year, Big Perk.
I did. I mean, excellent shot blocker. He really, really knows the game really, really well.
Yeah.
Great feel, great touch around the basket, athletic, runs the floor. But you know what? Shout out to Kobe Allman, Brandon Weems, the front office over there in Cleveland. The way that they turned this around and hired Coach Bickerstaff, getting him in place, and then the culture, right? We haven't seen this type of culture since LeBron James was there.
Yeah.
The way that they played last year, the way that they packed out the arena. So shout out to the front office of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Well, they lost in the play-in to Brooklyn and Atlanta, but that was in part because, well, they were run down. They were hurt at that point in the season. You know, Jared Allen worked all the way to get all the way back in order to be even appearing in those games. So now, what is the piece, do you think, Jay, that'll take them over the top?
Well, I don't know about the piece that takes them over the top. They still have, I think, a long way to go. But if they're looking for shooting, the guys I would target here, Malachi Branham of Ohio State, who I think is going to be an outstanding player.
Yeah.
And I happen to think is undervalued. You've seen Ochai Agbaji mentioned in this slot. You don't think they're going to go with a big guy. You know, it's going to go.
Sorry, Perk.
You're thinking it'd be a wing. You're thinking it'd be a wing or guard.
You want a starting five of all big men.
No, I don't. I think they have to pick a wing at this slot, right? You think they already got a elite guard play. We don't know what the future holds for us with Colin Sexton, but we do know that you have a young star in Darius Garland. We do know that Evan Mobley is a young star on the rise. Karis LeVert. I mean, they plugged him in. Once he got situated and once he got into the floor, it was pretty great for him. Now you want that two-way defender, right? Now you want a guy that you could just plug in, gonna play his role, that you could bring along slowly, maybe come in off the bench, but a guy that's gonna provide you 15, 20 minutes a game.
Well, and Karis LeVert, obviously, he had to overcome an incredibly scary health issue. We're so glad to see him back out on the floor contributing for that team. He's going to be such an important piece moving forward. And yeah, over the top doesn't mean to a championship, but past the play-in, maybe even making one of those deeper runs, finishing fifth, fourth in the Eastern Conference. That isn't outside necessarily of the realm of possibility if they add the right pieces. So I want to revisit, because this is all about the draft, your best available, Jay.
Well, the best available, I still have AJ Griffin up there. He's probably the best shooter left on the board, along with Ochai Agbaji. But mentioned Malachi Branham, Mark Williams still available. I don't expect Cleveland to take a big guy here. You know, Charlotte could grab him up at 15 next if they wanted him. Ty Washington still on the board from Kentucky. Tari Eason of LSU is a really good defender, really long-armed and athletic.
Well, the pick is in. We do not expect it to be another big, but we shall see. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
Okay, pick is in for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
With the 14th pick for the 2022 NBA Draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Ochai Agbaji from the University of Kansas.
Ochai Agbaji from University of Kansas, selected 14th by the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Ochai Agbaji.
This young man has just had an absolutely remarkable rise. His father is from Nigeria.
So the next pick coming up will be Charlotte Hornets. They're back on the clock.
An assistant coach in Kansas caught wind of him. He wound up there. He started in 160 games in 4 seasons in Kansas. The Jayhawks, obviously the 2022 national championship champions, and Abaji was the Final Four most outstanding player today.
Yeah, Malika, you mentioned it. He was being recruited by mid-major schools his senior year before Kansas got involved and snapped him up. He's what you call a 3-and-D guy in the NBA. He's athletic, a solid defender, but he can really shoot it. I wouldn't call him a shot creator, but he operates off screens, facing the floor, and defensively, he's got a competitive edge to him. Shot 41% from 3 on 6.5 attempts per game. Good in transition. He can be explosive to the rim, a very good finisher. Led the Big 12 in scoring at 19 a game. You know, what really stands out is that 37 he had against Texas Tech, where he just made play after play when the lights were on, and he's improved as a shooter every single year. He's only a 70% free throw shooter, which is a little bit odd given what an outstanding perimeter shooter he is, but he started 30% and wound up at 41% from 3 his senior year.
And you can look and see that year-over-year improvement on your screen. I just want to say this, Jay, there's nothing wrong with us that went to mid-majors. It was just lovely and dandy. I have to rep for the WCC here. All right, that's going to do it for the lottery portion, but we're going to come back with the rest of the first round after this.
Okay, we're going to mute it for a little while. So once again, we'll be back with NBA draft coverage in just a few moments here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thank you for joining us. So once again, if you want to come in, talk NBA draft, you can go through the chat room. Or if you want a video chat, the links are posted in Facebook and YouTube. So we are waiting. We are here tonight. Well, we'll be here for the first round. So okay, once again, Charlotte's got about 25 seconds until the pick is in. So we are waiting for that pick at number 15. So for the first round, so we're waiting on that pick. Once the pick is revealed, we will let you know. So we're just waiting on the pick, ESPN to come back with their coverage, so we can
outside of the lottery. Kawhi Leonard, 15th. Jimmy Buckets Butler and Giannis Antetokounmpo, an NBA champion, a two-time MVP and a Finals MVP. Not to mention Rudy Gobert, Pascal Siakam, DeJounte Murray, Tyrese Maxey, and Jordan Poole. The picks are coming fast now. The Charlotte Hornets pick is in. Let's send it to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
With the 15th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Mark Williams from Duke University.
So Mark Williams going over to Charlotte from Duke. So that is
Williams headed to Charlotte.
that is your 15th pick for the
He's not the only sibling to play. His older sister Elizabeth, she was selected fourth in the 2015 WNBA draft by the Connecticut Sun. She used to bring him to the gym with her, and actually she is missing a game. She got special permission from the Mystics to be here tonight, and just talk about length in this family. He measured at 7 feet 2 inches in shoes at the combine. But get this, Perk. He has the highest standing reach, 9 feet 9 inches, the longest among active NBA players. I'm talking bigger than
okay 16th pick coming up in the second. That's the Atlanta Hawks. About 4.5 minutes remaining.
Player of the year. Dave, what type of player is he? What strengths does he have that you most want to highlight?
Well, the first thing that stands out, Malika, is a shot blocker, shot changer around the rim. He really goes after the ball. His timing is excellent. You mentioned with that length and that reach, he is a presence. And getting out and blocking a perimeter shot, he can really run the floor. He's a rim runner and a big-time lob threat. You can throw it up there and he can still get it. And an excellent offensive rebounder. Gets over 3 offensive rebounds per game. And he shoots over 70% from the foul line. I think he shot 74% this last year. So he's got a nice touch. Only guy in the country to shoot 70% from the field and 70% from the line. It's a pretty good indication that he can stretch that range out, start to make a 17, 19-foot jumper in time.
And you talk about his dog mentality and going and being a beast down low, 3 offensive rebounds. His player come to me is his sister Elizabeth. Look at this block right here.
Oh my God.
And the same, almost the same athleticism and the same mean mug stand down.
And the same row. Knocked into the same row in the stand.
Identical. I mean, just absolutely identical. And it makes sense because she has been in the gym with him for years and years and years. Or rather, actually, he's been in the gym with her. There's the hug between him and Elizabeth.
There you go.
And his moment with the NBA commissioner. I mean, shot blocker. Absolutely incredible. I do, though, want to bring in Adrian Wojnarowski now because earlier there was a trade with Charlotte involved Woj. What more can you tell us?
Detroit is going to send that 2025 first-round pick via the Milwaukee Bucks that they picked up yesterday and the Jeremy Grant trade from Portland. That's on its way to Charlotte for Memphis center Jalen Duren. Now, Troy Weaver, the Detroit general manager, he had two real wish list targets in this lottery. It was Jaden Ivey from Purdue and Duren from Memphis. Didn't imagine that he'd be in position to get either of them, but Ivey dropped, was not selected at number 4 by Sacramento. They were able to land him there. There had actually been conversations in Detroit about perhaps Jalen Duren at number 5 if Ivey wasn't there. And now the trade to go get Duren. And now all of a sudden you look at this rebuild in Detroit with Kate Cunningham, last year's number 1 overall pick, Jaden Ivey, perhaps the most dynamic player in this draft, and Duren from Memphis, who is a young center that could be a building block for them. This is why Art Tellum, the president in Detroit, hired Troy Weaver from Oklahoma City. It was his history in the NBA draft, and now you're seeing it played out with the way this Pistons organization has replenished their young talent base.
Absolutely. Well, that's what this night is all about, right? It's not just the players' dreams that come true. Sometimes it's the front office influence in these franchises as well. And speaking of, currently the Atlanta Hawks, they are on the board. A little bit of a disappointing season for them, I would say, this year, Big Perk, just because it was a little bit of a Cinderella run, sure, to the Eastern Conference Finals last season. So they set those expectations high, fell a little bit short. What are you looking at for them?
You know what? I would like to see them add like that stretch four. That stretch four, that guy that can spread the floor. Give Trey a chance to operate in the pick and roll and get down here and do his thing. Space.
Well, the pick is in. Let's see who is headed to join Trae Young in Atlanta and send it to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
With the 16th pick in the 2000.
So 16th pick coming up.
The Atlanta Hawks select AJ Griffin from Duke.
So AJ Griffin goes to the Atlanta Hawks. 16th pick overall.
Headed to Atlanta. Welcome to Atlanta where the players play basketball in the Griffin family. AJ, he's the son of Raptors assistant coach Adrian Griffin, who played 10 years in the league, and his sister Aubrey is a junior forward at UConn. Talk about a powerhouse. His brother played at Syracuse. AJ actually missed a little bit of his high school career dealing with some just minor injuries, but that was a chance for him to join the Raptors when they temporarily relocated to Tampa. So he was able to train there with Kyle Lowry, with Fred VanVleet. Just a whole lot of experience there for him. He's been picking his father's brain for a while. What do you see from him, Jay?
Well, he's got an elite skill, Malika. He can really shoot it. 46% from free in his freshman season at Duke. He can spot up. He can put it on the deck for one, maybe two dribbles and pull up. He was in the 91st percentile as a shooter in college basketball last year. He's got a really good shot fake, and he's reliable on both ends. You wouldn't call him a spectacular run and jump athlete, but he's a good athlete. And his cover shot 35% this season. He's a long-arm defender that has length and strength. So he's solid on both ends of the floor, but his shooting ability sets him apart here.
I mean, surprise, surprise, Jay. Duke is already cleaning up today. Might they have 5 first-round picks? We could see. Paolo Banchero, Mark Williams, AJ Griffin, who might join them?
Look at that smile.
I know.
I smile all the time. Everybody's draft.
Well, you know why I am smiling right now? Because Jabari Smith Jr. is here with us. First of all, congratulations. I know this is something that you have been working toward for years and years. Can you just describe, we saw your emotions, I'm sure some nerves in the green room. What were you feeling when you heard your name called?
This is something I've been dreaming about since I was 5 years old. So hearing my name called, it's like everything settled down and all the emotions came out. I told all my friends I wasn't gonna cry, but I couldn't hold it back. I see my dad, my mom, it was just had to let it out.
Sometimes you can't help it. I'm gonna preface this by saying Kendrick Perkins is from Texas, so be kind here. What are your impressions so far? Who have you heard from within the Rockets?
I talked to the general manager not too long ago, but I think I'm gonna talk to Devin Gray soon. And just knowing they got a young core, young team that I can go in there and just grow with, learn from, and just overall just be hungry. Just be patient, just be ready. You know what I mean?
Houston Rockets fans, I know what you mean. They are ready, obviously, after a little bit of a rebuild the last couple of years. When I say Houston Rockets fans, I mean Kendrick Perkins. So this is your camera right over here. Okay. Can you tell Houston Rockets fans what they are getting and why they should be excited?
You're getting a hard worker. You're getting somebody who's going to come in with a chip on their shoulder, somebody who's going to come in and compete from day one. Somebody who don't care about stats. Somebody who's going to do anything your team needs him to do. If that's defend, score, anything, you know what I'm saying? So you get the hard worker, competitor, somebody who don't like to lose. All I care about is that W. So that's what y'all getting.
I love that you're coming in with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. You've been wired for sound tonight, so let's just take a listen to what you've had to say.
All right.
Even they said you was looking good, Tim.
This is just
With the 3rd pick in the 2022 draft, the Houston Rockets select Jabari Smith Jr. from Auburn University.
You good? You said that you're coming in with a chip on your shoulder. I spoke to Jalen Jalen Green moments after he was drafted last year, and he already said, "I'm coming in with a chip on my shoulder because I should have gone number one, and now I'm going for that rookie of the year." What are you going for in your first year with that chip?
I'm trying to make the playoffs. Rookie of the year is definitely in my eyes, but I want to win games. You know what I'm saying? That's just that's how I was raised. That's just who I am. I want to come in and win games, and if I'm coming in every game trying to win it, I know everything else to take care of itself. So I'm looking forward to a big year.
You know what? I want to go back to college a little bit with you, man, back at Auburn. One of my good brothers, my good friends, Marquise Daniels, he spoke very, very highly of you. I just want you to tell us